Welcome to my series about all Chopin's music. Today you are high in the sky and I'm here on the ground looking up to you because I really want you to see all my keyboard. At least during the first part of this video, when we will be talking about the difficulties of this etude that we are going to talk about tonight. Etude in G flat major, opus 25, number 9. This etude has the title Butterfly. And now my title of this episode is as follows: Destroying the Butterfly, or Killing the Butterfly. Yes, my friends, this is what I'm going to do today, because I deeply believe that the title Butterfly gives and brings a lot of harm to this etude and also to all the pianists who are playing this etude. It's not acceptable, in my opinion, to call it Butterfly. Chopin never thought about Butterfly composing this piece. He never called this piece a butterfly, and he had absolutely nothing in his head that was connected with the poor butterfly. So about this, though, we are going to talk in the second part of the lecture, when we will talk about the character, the emotions, and the structure. Everything in this video tonight will be maybe strange, maybe surprising, and for sure we will have a lot of fun, because that's how this etude sounds. A lot of fun. Okay, what are the difficulties? Maybe you saw already, but there are more than one difficulty in this etude. First of all, can you imagine that Chopin is still very creative and he still makes up a new kind of pianistic technique to improve in this masterpiece? Yes, Chopin never, in these etudes that he wrote, the 20 etudes that we've already analyzed, used the kind of technique of the wrist, such kind of technique of this movement. This, it's very important for the pianist to have this kind of flexible wrist, but also to be able to play very fast, very short, staccato, wrist staccato we call it. And this etude is practically unplayable if we don't have this technique. We have to improve this technique to play this etude well and to play it in Chopin's tempo, because Chopin's tempo is extremely fast. So where do we have this wrist movement? In every motif we start legato. This is another difficulty, two different articulations. We start legato, but then the two last notes we have staccato, wrist staccato. Look. So sorry. Right? So this is very important and very difficult. As I said, the second difficulty is that we have legato, staccato, legato, staccato, legato, staccato, legato, staccato. Then the third difficulty is in the left hand. Left hand has a little similar difficulty to this etude, where it had to jump from the left to the right. Here we also have jumps, and believe me, even wider jumps. So we had to really jump from the very left side of the keyboard to the middle, and in a fast tempo. Now I show you Chopin's tempo. This is another difficulty. This is Chopin's tempo. And let's watch the left hand. And now it starts. And look this. And now we have octaves in the bass, so it's even harder. So that's it. And now, how does it sound together? Because hands together with this tempo, allegro assai, writes Chopin, so very fast. Well, it's not a presto, but still it is very. Assai means very much. So this tempo is extremely difficult to make a staccato. Okay, you know, now I felt tension here, and it didn't sound well, unfortunately. Do I have a bad technique? Well, maybe, but there must be a reason for that, and now I want to tell you what my problem is. So forgive me a little personal digression. This etude was the first etude that I ever learned. Actually, I was at high school, about 15 years old, and my current teacher at that time gave me this etude as the first Chopin etude, and it was a huge mistake, because I had a very bad technique. Unfortunately, I was not lucky to have good teachers at the beginning. I mean, maybe my teacher was good, but she was not, how to say, patient enough to, or maybe she didn't see that I started to play, the older I got, the more tensed all my hand was. Especially here, but also here and everywhere, and especially here. So, here is the problem. If you have tense hand, this etude is impossible to play, because we need to have this light, you know. So maybe you can play 2 bars or 3 or 4 bars, but not more, because you get stuck. And that would happen to me. I never played this piece in exam or in any competition or in any concert. I learned it, I practiced it very much, because I always loved to practice, you know. But I had bad technique, and nobody told me at that time. And I had a great problem, and we gave it up. Instead of fixing this problem, well, we gave it up. And this, unfortunately, was a mistake. But what now is very interesting for you is that our muscles and all our body also has its memory. I mean, we remember, if we played something with bad technique, our body remembers that. And it's extremely hard or almost impossible to get rid of that. When I started to change my technique, because somebody showed me that it's wrong and started to work with me, thanks God, when I was late 17 and I turned 18, so late. And you know, it was a very frustrating process for me. It took me between 2 and 3 years to get rid of all these tensions and weak fingers, because I had very weak fingers and very tensed hand. Yes, it took me about 2 or 3 years, in the best time for the pianist, when you can, you know, 17, 18, 19, your brain is like a sponge. You can absorb, you can learn a lot. It's fantastic age to build up the repertoire. And instead of building up the repertoire, I had to step back a lot. You know, like I sometimes tell my students, if they have some problems and we have to fix them, I tell them, look, we have to go back. And they usually don't want to. Of course, young people, they don't want to, because they want to go, fast. More and more and more, and more difficult, and as fast as possible to reach the level. I say to them, please, you have to go back, because always when we, for example, in sport, in the Olympics, we have this jumping, or triple jump or jump. Of course, it's impossible to jump high when you stand and you jump. We have to go back to get the speed. And when we have the speed, then we jump absolutely more. This is what happened to me, and we just have to accept it. But that time it was very frustrating to me. But now, from this perspective and my age, I'm thankful for this, in a way, because of my problems. When anybody has the same problems or similar problems, I can immediately say, and I can see that, and because I overcame these problems, I can immediately give advices that work. I can help them, because I myself had these problems. And in my education, I was very lucky to travel in many master classes, to be able to study and have lessons with a lot of great and fantastic musicians, pedagogues, professors and artists. And I met some of them which were astonishing, fabulous pianists, but unfortunately hopeless teachers, simply because they never had these problems. They were child prodigies, or they had fantastic teachers from the very early age. So when somebody had problems, they didn't understand. They couldn't help. They didn't want how. They didn't know how. So in that matter, because I love teaching, I'm thankful. Okay, thanks for listening. Going back to the etude then. So now I play two hands together and I try to tell to my brain, please relax. Relax, dude. This is the only way that we can really play this etude in Chopin's tempo. Well, I try. Have your fingers crossed. And so on. Well, sorry, now it was not the problem of the tension, but the memory problem. This is another thing. Playing fast from memory, we need to predict what will happen. We can't play as fast as we can. I mean, we have to play slower than we can. So normally we have to practice much faster, then we have to slow down. And then we feel comfortable, right? Okay, I think it's enough. Can you see? Well, let's play again just one more time, because then I take you down. Because my neck starts to pain. I feel pain in my neck looking up all the time. Just to see this. And we have to play clean. So. So if somebody thinks that this etude is easy because it lasts 50 seconds or 1 minute, he or she is wrong. It's not. Now you know what difficulties are. I think these are all, or most of them. Now we go down, we go home, just like we always. Oh yes, and this is much better, much better, much better. Okay. And you see me? Some problem with, again. Is it okay now? I hope it's not blurred, because it happened to me before and I had to delete the whole episode because of my camera. I think is almost over after this 300 videos that I've made. Anyway, yeah, now it's good. So, now let's talk about the butterfly and let's talk about the structure. First about the structure and then about the problem with the title. Those of you who watch my videos from the very beginning, so from April 2020 when I started lectures about Chopin's mazurkas, I congratulate you, because if you watched from the beginning, I'm really impressed. That's a lot of videos that I've made, and if you haven't watched them, you are invited. If you have time, I know it's a lot of time, I will count it, how many. I think it's definitely more than 2 days, 2 full days of recordings, but maybe even more. I have to check, but never mind. I'm quite proud of this, of course, but it's not the topic of today's video. But those of you who watched my mazurkas and all the other pieces, remember that we were talking about some of the pieces. We were comparing, that was the word I was looking for, Chopin's piece to some other art. For example, to architecture, buildings, to the literature, to the paintings, to nature, to the science even, I remember. But we have never compared a piece of music to the art of cooking, to the cuisine, to the art of cooking. And today is the day, because you know what is fantastic? I thought, after analyzing about 150 or even more Chopin's pieces, that he will never surprise me anymore, because it's impossible. We almost finished the project. How can he surprise me now? Impossible. Yes, Chopin. Where is he? Oh my God, I again forgot. Yes, it's here. Sorry, I forgot about him again. Yes, you surprised me again with the structure of the piece, and I was thinking of how to explain you, especially not musicians, this structure of this etude, so that it will be very easy to absorb and to follow. And I found the way. Lasagna. You know lasagna, Italian dish, made of pasta, but the pasta, the big pasta. We have the pasta, then we have the sauce, the bolognese sauce, then we have another bechamel, I think is the name, white sauce, and then we have the pasta again, well, the Parmesan cheese, and we have the pasta again. I'm getting hungry now. Anyway, pasta, red sauce, white sauce, pasta. And let's imagine now that we are cooking lasagna. And we have one pasta, and let's imagine we are cooking a big lasagna. So we need one sheet, or let's call it like this, a pasta, and then another piece, I think is a better word. One piece of pasta, another piece of pasta together. Then we have one big huge spoon, you know, this very big spoon of red sauce, and then another spoon, the same spoon of the red sauce, then one spoon of the white and another spoon of the white, and then one piece of pasta, another piece of pasta again. This is the recipe for that etude. Of course, in lasagna we have a lot of this. Well, this etude is too short to cook the whole lasagna, but the idea is the same. And now I want to show you this. The first piece of pasta sounds like this. Then the second piece of the same pasta is the same. Then we take the 1 spoon of the red sauce, which sounds like this. And then another spoon, same. And then the white sauce comes. First spoon. And second spoon. And the pasta again. And the second pasta. The second pasta, here we have to stop because we have we are building up the climax, and then we will have the ending of the piece, the coda. Easy, right? And now, from, well, more professional point of view, it's built on very short musical periods, where we have the first phrase, and then the consequent phrase, and this part A, we call it pasta, then the first phrase, and the same consequent phrase, which is the red sauce, and then part C, the first phrase and the second phrase. This is how it is built, and I don't know any other piece that is built like this. And what's more, these musical periods are very short. And now another thing, all this music, all this etude is built on one short motif. This one. So Chopin it's like a little like Beethoven, right? He composed one motif, and then he built on all piece on this motif. But of course this is not like Beethoven, because Chopin is obsessively repeating one piece and is constructing phrases from one motif. We had etudes like this. This was that obsessively repeated one motif all the time. Also this one. This was the motif, and then it was repeated. Well, you know it, I'm not going to play, because when I start to play I can't stop, you know. That's my problem. Anyway, so a genius piece of music. Very short, but really fantastically constructed. So that's how it is until the second pasta. And now I promised you, you remember, you are waiting for destroying the butterfly. And it's very important actually. Now I'm a little serious for a bit. I have a book here of Ferdinand Hessig, which I quote, and he quotes here Honecker, so another musicologist, who writes that nowadays almost all the pianists, virtuosos, are destroying into very small pieces this little butterfly, this little happy butterfly. They are squeeze this butterfly. They use their legs, you know, to destroy this butterfly. That's what he writes here, really. And they are very cruel to it. And now, my friends, I'm here to tell you that I'm proud of the fact. I'm afraid there must be something wrong. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm proud to destroy this butterfly today. Because not me, it's Chopin. I want to show you. Part A. Everything that we've heard, maybe we can compare to butterfly, but I prefer some other title, some other animal that is jumping, I don't know, a rabbit or whatever, but this was very light, very happy, very nice. And again, this very light. But from here, when we have part A as a recapitulation again, Chopin writes here, and this is what I want to show you. Forte, can you see? Forte and marcato. It's a little blurred. My camera is dying, so I have to use a new one. Marcato and forte. So marcato means accent every note. Well, that's how we can describe it. And you know, it doesn't sound anymore like a butterfly, but it's not the end. Having forte, Chopin writes later in the second, like consequent phrase, he writes crescendo, and we have to reach forte fortissimo here. And this, maybe you don't see, but it says appassionato. So passionately. And if now, my point, if the audience comes to a concert, has the program, and in the program it says Etude in G flat major, opus 25, number 9, sorry. Yes, number 9, and then there is this nickname butterfly, and all people feel, there will be a little cute butterfly. Oh, how nice, how nice. And they like, and they have it at the beginning. If they have good imagination, they have, you know, but I don't see the butterfly here, but maybe people can. I respect them. It's okay. But then when comes the second page, and when the pianist respects Chopin's writing, so as you know, I always do, the audience will be shocked. They can feel offended, and they can feel, what is he doing? He got crazy, it's ugly, and this pianist is very bad, I don't like the concert, and blah blah blah. Critics, if they think it's butterfly, they can write a bad critic. Oh, this pianist doesn't understand the piece. He just destroyed, like Honecker, you know, destroyed this, the poor little butterfly. But now, well, we have to take Chopin seriously, in my opinion. We have to. Well, I know Chopin now because I play all his music. When he writes forte fortissimo, it doesn't happen very often. He really means it. When he writes appassionato, it means passionate. It has to be like that. So if we really want to stubbornly, is there a word in English like that? hopefully it is. If we are stubborn to keep our image of the little butterfly, we have to, unfortunately, my friends, we have to imagine that we are in a movie and it's a horror movie. At the beginning we have a little cute butterfly, you know, flying. Everything is so nice. And when it comes part A, this cute little butterfly suddenly becomes a huge, you know, a beast, and is destroying all the city. And then after that, what happens? When he destroyed all the city, killed all people, he comes back to how small he was, and he's flying again. Nothing happened, he didn't do anything, everything was always like that. That's how this etude is. And this is etude that you can show to everybody, to show the people a genius way of building the energy in music, in a very short piece of music. So, is this still the butterfly? Now let's answer this question once in a lifetime and finish the title Butterfly. At least I hope. This. And now we have crescendo and we have appassionato. And now, fortissimo. And now suddenly, oh no, it was not me, I didn't play loud. I didn't. Oh, you are mistaken. Me, no. And then there is a coda. Well, actually, this we can also call a coda. So, now you understand my point. I hope you agree with me. But, well, you don't have to agree with me, but give me a better explanation if you have it. Anyway, so that's how it is constructed, and the ending is so funny. I promised you we will have fun, and we will have fun even more, because the ending, my friends, is just like I'm talking to you and I have something to say and I'm explaining you some thing. I mean, this thing we don't have in the etude. So it's like I'm talking and suddenly it's the silence, you know. We speak, we talk, and nothing. In the talking, no ritenuto, nothing. Just cut. You have a knife and you cut the music. Just listen. Very funny. Okay, let's have fun. Let me play again this etude for you, and I will try to divide this. Maybe we stick to lasagna, we stick to this naming the parts so that we understand where we are. Okay, let's enjoy, and bon appetit. First piece of pasta. Second piece of pasta. Red sauce. Second spoon. White sauce. Second spoon. Forte, and we have a pasta again. The second spoon. And the appassionato. And now innocent again. saying something, I'm saying, and the end. Oh, so much fun. I really wanted these episodes to be very funny. I hope you had a lot of fun, like it, cabaret a little, but still it's a serious music. I mean, it's not a serious music, but it's Chopin, right? But he had a lot of fun composing this piece. We should all have. And why? Because I wanted you to laugh, because this is the last time when you have the opportunity to laugh. The next 3 etudes are very different. As you probably know, or maybe not, but they are dramatic, and there is nothing to laugh about. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again. Good night. Now I'm going to have something to eat, because I got really hungry thinking all the time about Italian food. Bye bye.